Welcome back to the Simple Truth, where we make some simple truths, take some simple truths from the Word of God. We're in 1 Samuel. We're in chapter 25. We're going to start today with verse 25. So 25. We're in the story of Abigail, David and Abigail. We just talked a couple weeks ago about the right posture. And I challenged you last week to think about the right attitude that goes with the posture. When those two things are right, then we're setting up for an ask of God, right? From God. We might be talking to people, but we're asking God to work. And those two things need to be lined up together. A lot of times we have one of the two messed up. Wrong posture. We come at it with an attitude of defiance, right? If one of those is off, right? We come with arrogance. We're standing up. We're ready to take somebody on, or we got the wrong attitude. Then we don't get the ask. But Abigail has the posture and the attitude, and here's what happens in the rest of the story. When you look at verse 25, it says this: "Let not my Lord regard this worthless fellow Nabal, for his name is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, your servant, did not see the young men of my Lord whom you sent." This is important. It's important to speak truth and to recognize things here, right? Hey, this guy is a fool, right? Again, we're allowed in moments to say to God, right? Hey, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't the way I wanted it. I didn't know anything about this. As a pastor, lots of things in my church, lots of things in my ministries I didn't ask for. I love it when people proclaim, Andy, your ministry is getting toxic. And what they mean is somebody has done something, either me or somebody else. But I might not even have a clue what's going on. Now, you can argue, should you have a clue that your congregants are out doing this? Should you have a clue about conversations or things that are happening, the way people are being treated? Sure. So I need to do a better job of praying. I need to do a better job of asking God to enlighten me on certain things, right? But no matter, I come before God and I say, God, don't pay any attention to the fool, right? To the fool who says there is no God. There's a lot of times when we act as if there is no God. You can believe in God and act as if there's not a God. You become a fool. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. When I want what I want, where I want it, when I want it, how I want it, I am saying there is no God in this moment. I don't have to ask him about anything. I'm not responsible for anything or to anybody. That's what she's saying right here is, do not pay any attention to this fool. He is acting crazy. He's acting as if there is no God. Do not pay any attention to him. But I also need you to know that I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have a clue where this was going. I got told I'm reacting to this. She's not saying I don't want to take any responsibility, because the verse before, she just said, put it all on me. Put it all on me. I didn't know. You admit I didn't know. We love to use I didn't know as an escape room tool. I get to escape the problem that we're in because I just get to say, I didn't know. A lot of times people do this when they're married to somebody who's doing something that they shouldn't be doing. And then it goes to court, or it's somehow in front of people, and they try to say, well, I didn't know. And people don't buy it because you should have known. Again, Abigail's taking all that away and just saying, it's my fault, but I need you to know I didn't know. You're allowed to say that to God. God already knows. But that doesn't mean you're not responsible for what's going on in your family, in your church, in your workplace. It's not that God holds us sometimes accountable. The entire people mass of Israel were held accountable for the sin of Achan. One guy. They didn't know. None of these people knew. Joshua had to go through this super intense thing to get down to Achan because he wouldn't come forward and just take responsibility. He didn't have a clue what was going on. But God held everybody responsible. God may be doing that in your ministry, in your church. He may be doing that in your family, where he's asking you to take responsibility for what's going on, even though you didn't know. I didn't know is not an excuse in God's book. It's a man excuse, and we use it to muddy up the waters. If somebody didn't know, then they're not responsible, then we just leave things hanging. It doesn't matter if you knew that you hurt somebody's feelings. You hurt their feelings. It doesn't matter if you knew that you did something wrong or that something wrong was done. You're still responsible. And God makes a very simple way of handling these moments. He just simply says, just take responsibility for it, and then I'll do something. And we fight that responsibility. We literally think in our head, if I take responsibility, it's going to cost me. And it is, because people are not like God. The place that Christians meet the most opposition is in the church. The church brutally assaults their own under the guise of discipline. We substitute punishment and judgment. We put the word discipline in there, and then we do all those things. While we ourselves would not want any of it. We use the excuse of I didn't know. Right? Again, you can be a fool. You can be married to a fool. You can be involved with a bunch of fools. I don't know, but you still need to take responsibility. What do you do with the phrase, I don't know? Think about that. Chew on that. We'll see you next time. We're here on Simple Truth.